welcome to BPTV. I'm your host, Andy Amrine, and it's another of our Around Town series for Bethel Park. And today's special guests, we have our new municipal manager, Kristen Denny. Did I say the last name right?
Correct, yes.
Okay, thank you. I'm very excited to sit down and chat with her and learn about who she is and what maybe some of her plans are for Bethel Park. So thank you for tuning in to BPTV. And Kristen, thank you very, very much for taking the time out of your busy schedule. I'm sure you'll probably have a million emails when you get back upstairs, but how about just introducing yourself to our amazing residents of Bethel Park?
Thank you. Andy, I'm originally from the Pittsburgh area. I grew up in a graduate of West Mifflin High School, also attended Pitt for my undergrad and my master's degree. So I'm definitely familiar with the Pittsburgh area. Had left the area for a while, for probably the last 15 years, worked out more in the eastern part of the state. Really wasn't planning to move back to Pittsburgh this soon, but when I saw that Bethel Park came up and that there was an opening, I could not help myself.
Good for us.
Good for
Good
me.
for us.
Yes, no, good for me. So I wasn't looking for a position and said, you know, in the type of work that I do, that if I've ever come back to Pittsburgh, it had to be the right community. And when Bethel came up, Bethel, believe me, I am honored and I feel very blessed to be able to come back, be a resident of Bethel Park and work in Bethel Park. So my family is all still in this area.
Oh, good. Okay.
Yes, I was the strange one that was the only one that moved out of Pittsburgh.
Yeah, people don't leave Pittsburgh too often.
No, so I, have family actually here in Bethel, South Park, West Mifflin, Elizabeth. So I'm moving right back into the old family ties.
What did they say when you told them you were coming back?
You could not have given my mother a better gift. Let's put it that way. Yes.
Wonderful.
Yeah, my parents are getting older, and it's definitely time, and have a pretty close knit family. My mother has two sisters that do everything together, and of course all three of them were at my house the day that I moved in here to Bethel.
All helping.
They
all
were. Yeah,
help.
I couldn't do it without them. That's for sure.
Well, you went to Pitt, and so you got your master's degree at Pitt. Can you tell us about your education? What is your master's in?
Sure. My master's is in public administration with a focus on urban and regional planning. I went to the Graduate School of Public and International Affairs at Pitt, so there was some international exposure there too, but mainly I fell in love with neighborhoods. I thought that I was going to be an international lobbyist and run the Red Cross at one point. And then, like I said, I fell in love with neighborhoods and neighborhood development and the science behind making good neighborhoods and making good livable and walkable neighborhoods. That then led me to municipal management.
Okay, so when did you graduate from Pitt?
2002, I received my master's degree.
So then when you graduated, where did you move on to from there?
So actually my first position was in the South Hills of Pittsburgh in Dormont, in the borough of Dormont.
Good neighbors.
Yes, very good neighbors. So it's kind of coming full circle and connecting with a lot of colleagues that I worked with, many years ago. And but a lot of my focus is on trying to make a living neighborhood again.
Okay. So after Dormont, is that when you went east?
Started that way. I was in Ambridge Borough in Beaver County for a little while, for about 5 years, and then went to Johnstown.
Okay.
Then went to York County, and then was in
farther
Chester
out.
County. Yeah,
Okay.
then was in Chester. Yeah, further out towards an opposing football team, we'll say. This little Steelers fan was not very welcomed out there. Then most recently was in Chester County and Callan Township.
Okay. And what were some of the big projects that you were able to accomplish in these other communities?
A lot of what I've been working on has been on stormwater initiatives.
Big projects.
They are big projects that people forget about. But again, coming back to livable, sustainable communities, Pennsylvania has probably, up until the early 2000s, really didn't put a lot of thought or planning into stormwater.
No, they didn't.
And we are all paying for that now.
Yep.
As we have become more populated, we continue to develop neighborhoods. We are recognizing that we have to go back into some of our older neighborhoods and account for the stormwater measures that need to come through. I'm a scuba diver.
That's fun.
Yeah, so I'm very passionate about clean water.
Okay.
And along with that, the ability to put in stormwater infrastructure and native plants to help keep our local streams and waters clean.
Excellent. So, okay, you got the call or you saw the advertisement for Bethel Park. You reached out and
Yes, I sent my resume in and was lucky enough to be chosen for an interview. Spent several interviews, pretty intense interviews with the council here. I can say this is a very engaged council. The interviews were very detail oriented, and they really drilled down on matters that were important to them. I feel that the council worked very hard and collaboratively to find a candidate that they really felt was going to fit the organization and feel the feel of Bethel Park.
I'm glad they found it.
I hope. I hope I make you all very proud. But it was not a process that they took lightly. I can tell you that. I was very impressed by how engaged they all were in the process.
It wasn't anything they were jumping at real quick.
No.
They took their time, which is what we, as residents and business owners, we very, very much appreciate with that. So you've been here now, what, 4 weeks? Maybe,
Probably
give or
about
take?
6 weeks.
Okay.
I moved the end of August
Okay.
and started here. I think I moved in August 22nd and started here August 28th.
Okay.
So, roughly 6 weeks.
So what do you think after 6
well,
weeks? Is it the community you expected, or
It absolutely is, and even more. Growing up, around the South Hills of Pittsburgh and in the Mon Valley, again, said that I, had family in Bethel and South Park, was familiar with the area.
right?
What I was surprised and gratefully surprised is how wonderful a community essence we have here. As you know, I was at the golf outing for the Community Foundation. I was absolutely amazed at the turnout for that and the amount of support that the Community Foundation gets to support, really what are the pillars of the community here. The library, the Historic Society, the school, our recreation programs. The fact that people are willing to, one, pay taxes, and then in addition, open their pocketbooks to give to these organizations is amazing.
Yeah. Well, and one of the things I really appreciate with Bethel Park, and I'm glad you're already seeing it, is how the different organizations work together and how the municipality and school district work together. And, it's a big town with that small town feel, if you want to, refer to it that way. But we love our community.
It really is amazing, and I will tell you, I've been in municipal management 20 plus years. The relationship and the collaboration between the school district and the municipality is very unique, and is definitely something to be fostered and be very proud of.
Good.
It
I know
really,
I'm proud of it.
It
and I
really
work
is.
hard at it.
I feel that people really, really are working to make sure that the residents are Bethel proud.
Yeah. With knowing that and being here 6 weeks now, is there things that you're already seeing that you want to jump into or work with or help, or projects that are on your radar screen yet?
Well, we have some unique opportunities, again, in collaborating with the school district at looking at future parks, future trail systems. I really want to start pushing the amenities that we have in this community that other places don't have. Putting that spotlight on how well we all work together to make sure that our residents are comfortable and get the services that we provide. There's a lot of added feel-good things that people probably don't even realize our employees are doing above and beyond their normal duties. We have the Halloween parade.
It's always fun.
It is a lot of fun, and even leading up to it, if pulling down the street and I see a 9-foot skeleton at the end of the street talking about a parade coming up, how many places do you get to see something like that?
You don't. Well, what other surprises were there for you when you first came back into Bethel, or now after 6 weeks?
I can't say it's really any surprises.
Okay.
For me, it's a lot of hard work in the first 6 months, becoming acclimated, reviewing our processes, looking at our programming, making sure that we are doing things as efficiently and effectively as we can. It's one thing to be cost sensitive, but you also need to be efficient and effective. You can't cut costs to the point that we're no longer able to provide the services.
Absolutely.
There is a high expectation of services with our residents, and we want to keep that expectation.
We've been pampered for 100 years.
Yeah,
Do we like that?
and there's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with that, and we want to keep that going. That's one of the beauties of living somewhere like Bethel Park.
Well, with you have some background in the state organizations too, I understand, don't you?
Yes. I've been active I've had, let me see, 2 governors multiple times appoint me to a organization called the Municipal Police Officers Education and Training Commission. That's made up of 20 officials from across the state. They're appointed by the governor that oversee the training and education requirements for police officers in the state of Pennsylvania.
And that's another proud factor of Bethel Park, and that's our police department, but
Agreed.
also our fire department, our Tri-Community South, but there's a lot of pride in our community for that. So
Yes.
that gives you an inside edge as to what's going on and keeping our police department the best of the best.
Yes. Both for EMS, fire, and police, training is so critical.
Right.
And you have to stay, current. You have to be aware of the needs of the community. One of our needs and one of our obligations is to train our employees to be the best they can be.
And we have an amazing staff in Bethel, not just the police department,
Correct.
but the public works, our community center, our sports fields, and everything else. And that's a big part of what makes Bethel Park such a great place to reside. We do have all the amenities of a great community.
Yeah, I'm glad to know that our residents participate in a lot of our activities, but it was great when I moved back and connected with friends and colleagues, hearing from so many of them how many use Bethel Park Library, how many come to our rec center for programming, how many people come to our farmers market. That Bethel is a regional asset, that we are providing programming and services that are making us a regional lure, which for you as a local business owner, I'm sure
it's critical.
Is critical.
Absolutely
that
critical.
It becomes its own small ecosystem.
Yeah.
That if somebody is stopping at our library and needs to grab something at a hardware store, they're
the
coming
place.
over. Yes, they're coming over to Evie's rather than buying in another location.
No, we've been here 70 years. I've been here 50 of the 70 years at the hardware store, and I love Bethel Park. I love
Yes.
everything about it, and I love our residents. With your background in stormwater, how did Bethel Park rank for you when you're coming in and seeing our infrastructure? And we do have quite a substantial wastewater treatment plant, but it's
Yes.
always growing, changing, and evolving, though, which I think is a good thing for the community. It's not just standing still.
Yes. The good thing is both at the wastewater treatment plant and in stormwater, we are doing a lot of planning for future upgrades.
Right.
So we are trying to stand current on that. Bethel is in a unique situation where we have some of our infrastructure in some of the older neighborhoods is, definitely needs upgraded, and we're looking at that and trying to address that. We have some newer neighborhoods that obviously have updated stormwater requirements because they were built after the 2000s. But wastewater-wise, many of our upgrades will be mandated according to standards set by the DEP and the EPA. But it was definitely a good feeling to know our wastewater operations, I would put second to none.
Yeah.
We have
You're
a
not
very good.
coming in with a broken system,
No,
having to
by
start
no
from
means.
scratch.
By no means. Scott Dunn is the wastewater treatment manager here, and he does an excellent job. He knows every part of that plant, and he is on it.
Okay. Well, let's go back to personally for some of the things and getting the people to know you. What are some of your hobbies? What do you like to do after work?
So I am a travel junkie. So
Okay.
if I can jump on a plane,
Worldwide, or
yes,
okay.
yeah. I'm very fortunate that I have friends from England that I travel with quite often. Most recently I was just up to New England, up to Nova Scotia. Went up to see a lot of lighthouses and catch some fall foliage. As I mentioned, I am a scuba diver, so if you put a pond of water down, I'll try to put a tank on and jump into it. That has led me on many adventures all over the world, all through, Central and down to South America, all through the islands. I also work with reef restoration and reef
marvelous.
cleanup activities. I've done a lot of work in Florida when there's been hurricanes that I will volunteer on a weekend to go down and help clean the reefs up. and help do any animal rescues or repair of the reef after a hurricane.
Yeah. What mammals or fish do you like the best when you're scuba diving? What do you want to find and what don't you want to see?
I can't say there's anything I don't want to see.
Okay.
Eels can be a little bit testy.
Okay.
I don't always like to interact with them. I love to see a good shark.
Okay.
Octopus are always amazing. But as far as fish go, my favorite is a parrotfish.
Oh, okay. That's
Yes.
different. Have you ever swam with any whales and dolphins and so forth? I'm assuming?
I've seen dolphins. They do come around. As far as whales, the only ones that I have swam with have been whale sharks.
Okay.
Yes, which are beautiful and majestic.
Okay. Okay. Besides scuba diving, traveling, what other
Um,
hobbies? What else do you like to do?
So I am a documentary aficionado, I guess you would say, and so I will like to learn anything that I can. Spend a lot of time on podcasts and have to put a plug in for our library with the Libby system. It's very easy to download
amazing.
audiobooks and catch up on different books, fiction, leadership,
Number
management
one
styles.
library in Allegheny County.
That
We're
is-
we're the gold standard for them.
Well, it
That
is
little library called the Carnegie. We're a notch above them.
Yeah. But it is wonderful to have them here in the building. One of the things that we are putting into play here with some of the department directors is we are picking leadership books and taking turns teaching other departments about them. And I was pleasantly surprised that the minute the department heads had decided on a book, somebody had already went over to the library to take it out.
Wow.
It was their first inclination.
Nice. Wonderful.
And I downloaded it on Libby as an audiobook. So it's a resource not only for our residents, also for us here in the municipality.
Okay. When you are getting into your history part and so forth, I'm assuming you've been to the Historical Society and you see our 100-plus-year-old schoolhouse here in Bethel. And
Another gem and a great community center. I don't live far from there, and it is great to see how many people are gathered at Reginald's on a regular basis.
it's a great place.
So again, it becomes a great little community hub. With the addition of our splash park coming, we're going to have our rec center, our splash park, the schoolhouse right there, our firehouse right there. That area is really turning into a great community hub for Bethel.
No reason to ever leave Bethel Park.
There really
Everything's
isn't.
right here.
It's funny you say that because my mom still lives in West Mifflin.
Mhm.
And I really rarely leave what I call my triangle, which is, down to the shops on 88, back up to the municipal building and to the house. And often there really is no reason for me to leave Bethel. Everything I need is right here.
We love it here. We do. I know it's probably an unfair question, but after only 6 weeks, do you have any vision that you've already seen that you want to take Bethel Park, say, 5 years from now or 10 years from now? Because
So from an
sounds like
economic,
you're going to want to stay for a while with us.
I
we
hope.
Okay. So
From an economic development standpoint, I really want to take the time to partner with the school district and to look at all of the properties that we both own and how we can market them more as amenities. I mentioned just very quickly the splash park, the schoolhouse, the rec center. That's becoming one little hub for us.
Right.
I would like to strategically look at all of our assets that are public assets and how we can start marketing that to people, especially realtors.
Right.
When someone's looking to locate a business or looking to buy a home, making them realize that we have put so much into the infrastructure of our amenities, this is the place you want to drop roots. That we are looking ahead, we are looking at the assets that we have and how we can make them work for our residents. People often don't understand that there is a direct correlation between these amenities, whether it be trails, parks, community centers, firehouses, and the value of your property. So every time the municipality is doing a project, they are actually making an investment in making your property more valuable.
I agree. How about 10 years?
So-
Same type of plan, just continuing
I think
on
we're
down?
always
It's
going
all gonna be,
to. I
it's
think
never-ending plan
it
for
is
you.
never ending. The other thing that we always have to be looking at is how we can. I always say recruit, reward, retain, retire. with our own internal staff, they are also community assets.
Right.
For the staff that we have, we want to make sure that we are challenging them, giving them the ability to lean in or step up to positions that they want, finding training that engages them so that they continue to be assets for the community. So, a lot of my focus is going to be, we have a new human resource director. That's a new position here in the municipality. A lot of my focus over the next coming years is looking at basically 10-year succession plans. That we are, recruiting and training people that are going to be the next leaders in Bethel Park.
That's all good stuff. Well, anything else you would like to share? Any other
No, I just
hobbies,
really,
gifts, thoughts?
I'm ecstatic to be back in Pittsburgh. Great to be back in Steeler country. I don't have to be afraid on Sundays going to the grocery store anymore with a Steeler shirt on. But it truly is a blessing to be somewhere like Bethel Park. And you are right. I mean, there's very few times I need to leave Bethel for anything. I can worship here, I can shop here, all the services I need are here. This is a wonderful community, and I'm looking forward to working with, people like you and the community in general to keep us ahead of the bar, to make us a destination that people want to live.
I am personally very, very excited to have you as our head of the municipality, and I do look forward to many, many years of working with you on the community projects.
Great.
And Bethel Park just keeps getting better and better, and a big piece of that was bringing you on board. So my hat's off to the council for finding us the absolute perfect fit for our community.
I hope so. Thank you. That is very kind.
I set you up there.
I know
you're
good. That you really are.
That?
I think the last thing that I would like to leave the community with is if you have an interest or a skill that you think could be utilized, there's a lot of volunteer opportunities, both the municipality, the library, the community foundation, the schoolhouse, the historic society. We have so many things that we would love to have good volunteers a part of. Please reach out to any of us. There's no talent too small or too big.
Nope.
There's a lot of opportunity, and what makes somewhere like Bethel so great is the volunteers here.
Absolutely, for all ages.
Yes.
I mean, there's stuff in Bethel Park for all ages to be part of, and that's what we want for all our residents to not just go to work, go home, and shut yourself in. We want you to be part of our community because we do love it.
Yes. No, this is a very special place.
Well, Kristen, thank you very, very much for your time. I do appreciate it. I hope everyone, when they see you either shopping or out and about in the community, just to say hi, introduce themselves, or because the community is what makes this a great place. So,
really is.
Welcome to Bethel Park.
Yes. No, thank you, and I can't thank everyone enough for a very warm welcome here. Many people reached out and have helped in acclimating me to Bethel and get me up to speed, and I hope that I'm always able to serve you all and make you proud.
Thank you.
Thank
we're
you.
going to see you around town.
Oh,
too.
you definitely will.
Okay.
Thank you.
Well, thank you everyone for tuning in to BP TV. I'm your host, Andy Amrine, and we will see you around town soon.